Do you want a simple formula to create unforgettable characters? It's called the like X but Y formula. And it's a simple way to write unforgettable characters that will keep your readers turning pages late into the night. So let's break it down. My name is Tim Grahl, and I'm the CEO of StoryGrid, and we help writers build stories that keep readers hooked. I'm also the author of 6 books. My most recent, The Shithead, has been praised by New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestselling authors. Alongside me is our founder, Sean Coyne, a 30-year publishing veteran and editor of bestselling books. We've cracked the code on what it takes to write a story that works. And today, I'm sharing a simple but powerful trick for creating unforgettable characters. We've all had that experience where we've finished a book or a movie or a TV show and we feel like we've made a new friend. That's because great characters aren't just ideas, they feel like real people. But most writing advice focuses on backstory and character sheets or figuring out what kind of car your characters drive. But that's not how it works in real life. We meet and connect with new people in real life all the time without knowing any of that stuff. So how do you do this in your real writing? How do you get your reader to connect with your characters? Well, there's 4 steps. So let's look at the first one. Great characters come from your understanding of real human behavior. So let's say your character is in a long line on Black Friday to get a deal on a big screen TV. And then somebody cuts in line right in front of your character. How would your mom react if that was her? How would your brother react? How about your best friend? What about your high school physics teacher or your cheerleading coach from college? What about your boss at your first job? How would each of these people act differently if somebody cut in line in front of them while they're waiting on Black Friday? Or what about a character from your favorite book, TV show, or movie? What if that was Michael Scott from The Office, or Jay Gatsby from The Great Gatsby, or Bilbo from The Hobbit, or John Wick? How would those people act if they were in that situation? You could probably make a pretty educated guess, right? Just by me putting somebody in your head that you already are familiar with, you could start seeing how they would act in lots of different situations. And if you don't know for sure, you definitely could make it up based on what you know about that character. So that's number 1. Start with an existing character or person. That's what you want to start every character in your story with, is base them on somebody you already know in real life or from a TV show or from a movie, and make that the basis of your character. That's number 1. Now let's look at number 2. We're going to take that person as the base of your character, and then we're going to modify them, twist them, change them in one specific way. So we're going to take your old boss, but we're going to make them a man instead of a woman. Or it's like your childhood best friend if that childhood best friend was a sociopath. Or for me, in my book, The Shithead, I took Mike McClintock from Veep, the character Mike McClintock, and I was like, well, what if he was not in Veep? What would he be like if he was in the show House of Cards, which is not a comedy, but still about political intrigue. And in my book, there is a political intrigue bend to the book. And so every time I came to that character, I thought, well, how would Mike McClintock do this if he was actually evil and not funny at all? So why this works is because you're starting with the person's core behaviors and you twist just one element to make them unique. This keeps your characters grounded in reality while making them fresh and compelling. And this is number 2. This is the like X but Y formula. So you take a character or a person you already know and you twist one thing about them and it turns them into a completely different character. So you take that character like X and then you twist something, but they're Y. So for me, it's like McClintock from Veep, but he's actually evil. So that's number 2. Let's take a look at number 3. So we all have constant impulses that we suppress, right? So if somebody cuts me off in traffic, I don't chase them down or run my car into them. I don't tell a chatty coworker to shut up, and I don't just walk out of a meeting if it's boring. I suppress those impulses. I'm using that front part of my brain here to make sure that I act in society and in culture in a way that doesn't get me into trouble. But what happens if your character doesn't suppress those impulses? What if your father in law acted on his worst instincts? What if your best friend always said exactly what was on their mind? So think about removing filters from your characters because this is how you'll get them to act in unpredictable and compelling ways. Let your characters do what they actually want to do. This will keep your readers fascinated because we all want to act on these thoughts that we would never even say out loud, and we get to watch characters do this. And you can see how we're taking these characters that we're starting with and turning them into a compelling character. So that's number 3 is we want to remove the filters. So number 1, we're taking somebody we're already familiar with. Then number 2, we apply the X but Y formula. We twist one important aspect of that character, and then we remove the filters. And now we've got some really compelling characters. And that leads to number 4. How do you make these characters actually come alive? Well, it's really simple. Number 4 is, what does your character want? Every character in your story has to want something and be actively pursuing it. This is what we call the object of desire. So you want to ask yourself, what does your character want in this moment? How are they trying to get it? What's stopping them? How do they react if they can't get what they want? So think about, just if a character enters a room for a meeting, right? They just have a meeting. Their goal determines everything. Where they sit, if they're trying to make sure that nobody knows they really exist, they'll sit in the back. If they're trying to make sure they get close to the boss, they might sit up front. It messes with how they engage in the meeting, whether they talk a lot or they're quiet or they interrupt. And great characters drive these scenes by desperately pursuing what they want, even when obstacles arise. So every great story is about characters chasing their desires and the conflict from all of the characters chasing competing desires, whether it's love or revenge or power or freedom. The more they want something, the more invested the reader becomes in whether or not that character will get it. So when you're planning characters for your next book, this is how you make characters that are unforgettable, that feel real, and that become somebody that your reader cares about and cares what happens to them. Is number 1, start with an existing character or person. This allows you to start from a basis where you can guess what the person is going to do next. You don't have to come up with all kinds of complicated backstory. You just say, well, what would that person do in this situation? So that's number 1. Number 2, apply the X but Y formula. Take that basis of a person and twist just one aspect about who they are to make them unique. And then number 3, remove their filters. Let them act on impulses that most people suppress. And number 4, give them strong desires. Let them pursue what they want, no matter the cost. And this is where all the great conflict comes in your story. Now, doing this is easier said than done because a lot of times you feel like you're doing it, but how do you actually get this on a page? How do you get it into line by line writing that keeps your reader turning pages? Well, that's what we do at the Scene Writing Workshop. Because here at StoryGrid, we know we can teach and teach and teach. I mean, how many of these videos have you watched, or books you've read on craft, or master classes you've gone through, and it's still not getting down in your writing the right way? So this is why in our scene writing workshops, we give one-on-one feedback. Every week, you turn in a scene and you get expert feedback on what you did right, what you did wrong, and how you can improve in the coming week. Along with that, we do daily exercises, brand new teaching. We put you in a community of writers and much, much more. So our next workshop is coming up soon. So make sure you check that out at storygrid.com/workshop. And on that topic of scene writing, I've got a free resource that you're going to love. So our coaches in our scene writing workshop have a rubric for what makes a scene work. We have a 13-point checklist for what needs to be in that scene to make sure that it works. And I want to give it to you right now for absolutely free. You can go to storygrid.com/checklist to download a copy of it right now, and you'll get training on how to use it with your own writing. Now, if you want to take this training about character development and keep it going, I've got a video that you should watch next. It's up on your screen right now. So click that and continue your journey of character development. But either way, thanks so much for being a writer. Thanks for being a part of our community here at StoryGrid, and I'll see you next time.